Football Friday is back on the air. Kim Bokamper, Joe Rose with you. And special night, we're coming to you from Cumber Stadium, home of the Eagles. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School against South Broward High School. And, Joe, it's an important game for both of them, but it's an important game for Stoneman Douglas. First game after for this year of the season at home, and certainly emotions are going to be high around here. And I think this is part of the healing process for this team, and I can just tell you this: we're I know you and I are both happy to be here and participate in this and be around it a little bit. And there's a special feeling around this place right now, Joe.
Yeah, and they did homecoming, which is really a good time as you talked about, and having football. We always say that's about football. Boy, with all the stuff going on in the world right now, football, man, is great therapy for everybody, and it's really cool to be up here.
Yep.
We don't get to come up here a lot. Going to be a big game, as you said, for Douglas tonight. So it is. It's going to be fun to be up here and talk to both the coaches for this game. The X-Man's expected to join us. Xavier Howard coming up.
By. Hopefully we'll get him and get a chance to talk to him. Just to let you know, the Audible High School Football Friday is presented by Nike. The season has arrived. It's time to go out and get your latest gear. Check out Nike.com for more. But let's talk a little bit about this football game here, Joe. Two teams that really aren't looking at playoffs. I think these are teams that are just trying to find themselves. Last year, you look at Stoneman Douglas. I think they were 5-4, 5-5 for South Broward last year. So teams are kind of in the middle of the pack. Obviously, trying to get better, trying to move on. But it's early in the football season. We'll kind of get an idea of what these two teams are going to be like.
Yeah, and Bo, like everybody, these schools have had some of their best players taken by other schools, which is now part of our culture here in South Florida. But these guys bounce back. The next guy up, this big community here, they're proud, and the guys are going to play, Bo. And like, I don't know, you and I talk about this all the time. I'd much rather go to a school that's 5-5 and play, sometimes play both ways, and be wiped out on a Friday night compared to go play for somebody, play part of a game on a team that's loaded.
No doubt. I mean, go where you're going to play and get out there. I mean, the fun of football is playing. It's certainly not practice.
Right.
And if you're going to practice all week and then come out to a game and then just sit on the sideline and not see anything, that's all right. We're just doing a show, but don't worry about that.
You guys good? Everything's good over there? Good. All right, good.
You got food. You might as well drop some off if you're going to swing by us in Hey, they got a lot of stuff going on here, Joe. We just watched their parade go by. They're cooking over there. They got food over here.
I'm smelling burgers, Bo. I smelled those cheeseburgers, and they're smelling pretty good over there.
We're going to talk to both coaches. We'll talk to both coaches. Talk to X if he gets here on time. Before we kind of move on with high school now, Joe, let's kind of touch on the Dolphins. Opening day, Sunday, September 9th. We've been waiting for it for a long time, all through training camp, OTAs, mini camps, all those things. That's all behind us. Preseason games are over. Now it starts for real on Sunday. The Tennessee Titans come in. And Joe, it's going to be a 1 o'clock game, as all the games for the Dolphins, albeit one.
Right.
It's going to be at 1 o'clock this year.
That's right.
But they're going to have an opportunity to have a team come in. It's going to be hot. It's going to be steamy. And Joe, this is the first time in 4 years the Dolphins have opened the season at home. They've got to take advantage of it.
I agree. And, Bo, there's been no buzz about this team in the offseason. A lot of people nationally don't think much of this team. I think the only way to get a buzz here locally as well as nationally is you go out and you play a great game against Tennessee. You take care of business at home. It starts at 1 o'clock. It's the best marketing tool they have is to show everybody that they really have a good team.
And, Joe, you talk about nationally, people have this team picked to be one of the worst 2 or 3 teams in the National Football League, depending on who you listen to. But it's funny, Joe, you've been around this team. I've been around the team. We've been around the coaches. We've been around players. The attitude inside that building is 100% different than what you're hearing, the noise you're hearing outside of it. And I like that.
That's right.
I like that. I like the fact that they believe in themselves, and I like the fact that they don't care what everyone else is saying about them.
Well, they have to have that. I mean, they're aware of it. The media tell them all the time that, hey, nobody thinks much of this team. It's like it may have great chemistry, but people don't think they have great talent. And the only one way to prove it is a professional football player, and that's go out and do it, and then all the other stuff comes with it. But this team really needs to get off to a good start, Bo. Get some offense going, this young defense. Bo, we talk about all the time. There's 3 rookies. I can't remember, you've been here a few more years than I have, that we're going to start a first, second, and third round pick in the same rookie draft. Unheard of. Plus,
Plus, you're going to have a couple other guys
That's
going to play. Raekwon, you got coming. Durham Smythe is going to play in there, another draft choice. So, Joe, really quietly over the last 3 years, Dolphins have stacked some pretty good draft classes together. Yeah. And I'm starting to kind of look at this and saying, look, they're young. You got guys that are there. You got 4 guys that are going to play a lot that are rookies. You're going to have 3 guys that are second-year players play a lot, and you're going to have probably another 2 or 3 guys that were third-year players play a lot. So it's a young football team. And Joe, I like the fact that they're building a nucleus of the young guys. Joe, it's salary cap friendly with all those young guys. And young guys that really have a high threshold when it comes to the type of football player they can be. I'd like to see them grow with this football team and see if they can become the kind of football team that we've been looking for quite some time.
That's the upside of this team, Bo, is your young guys and developing them quickly. And then the other side is that 4 or 5 veteran guys now in their 30s. We need to get good years out of that group as well. Yep. So that stuff.
Joe, we're going to be joined here in a minute by Willis May Jr., the head coach here at Stoneman Douglas. Get a chance to talk to him a little bit. He's been head coach here for 6 years, 25 years coaching experience, 29-21 here at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. Overall, 88-51. He's a guy that knows his business. He's been around a long time. He's got some pretty good players on this football team to work with. But his job, Joe, unique from any other job, maybe in the country, with what he's doing with this football team and what they've had to go through, what the student bodies had to go through, what the parents, what this whole Marjorie Stoneman Douglas community has had to go through over the last 8-9 months.
Well, it's a story that is everybody nationally feels this story every day. It hasn't gone away. The strength of this school and everything else. And I think these sports teams understand. Yeah. I always consider football to be the leader for like to rally the school around. Yep. You know, right? Get everybody behind your football team. It's a Friday night. Yep. All the events around it. You got homecoming and everything else. So, yeah, it's pretty big as you put this thing back together here.
Friday night football in high school is always special.
Man,
but here, Joe, it's a whole different level. Come on, Coach. Come on and join us here. Willis May Jr., head coach here at Stoneman Douglas.
How you doing?
Coach, how you doing? How are you doing? Hey, we're on TV. We're on Facebook Live. Don't be showing any of your plays there. We don't want you. We don't want anyone snooping. We don't want anyone snooping on you. Yeah. So here you go. Yeah. Hey, Coach. First of all, congratulations. You're here to open up the season at home here. But it's a special day, homecoming. We just had a parade go by out here. A lot of students. There's a buzz around here. What's it like for you and your football team?
Well, I mean, the whole season, ever since February 14th, has been something else. I mean, just unimaginable, event happening, and we're just trying to get through it every day, take one day at a time, and try to do the best we can. And like I always say, we want to make the 17 that we lost proud. So we work on that every day. But also, our guys put in a lot of time and effort to this game. And we want to make ourselves proud. Yeah. So I'm real proud of our team and pleased with their effort and their attitudes and how they come out every day and they're trying to get better. Yeah. We want to make the playoffs. A team here hadn't made the playoffs in a while. Yeah. Since 2001, and that's just way too long. Yeah. And so we're just trying to concentrate on us and get better every day.
I mean, it's certainly a big game for you, but outside, it's a big game for the community in a lot of different ways. Yeah. Healing takes a long time after what everybody here has been through, and may never feel the same again in their lives, but. A game like this, it kind of transcends a football game. Yeah. It transcends a Friday night out here. It's a lot more about community and bringing everybody back, at least from where I sit.
Well, let's just hope, that for 2.5, 3 hours, it just takes your mind off of everything that's going on. And you get to enjoy a bunch of kids watching a bunch of guys play and have fun. And, have fun with one another in the stands and just the camaraderie of being a part of the MSD family and come out here and just everybody rooting for the same team, rooting for the same goal, and just forget everything else for a little while.
Coach, I'm just curious because nobody else has been through the situation you've been through, the mood when this thing all started and guys are coming out. What was it like? Was it guys really wanted to get it going, or would you find you had to motivate guys? You get a little bit of everything? What was it like?
We really had a rough time at the beginning, and you can imagine. I mean, we lost. They lost their friends.
Yep.
I mean, they lost their coach. At 17 years old, I remember my grandfather died when I was young, and I had kids that watched their coach that they loved and have to, be at his funeral and carry his casket, and it was hard. I mean, and all their friends, that we all knew the kids and the coaches, and Chris Hickson. I mean, God, dog, what a great man. Yeah. So it was hard, but together, we just got together as much as we possibly could early as we could, and tried to stay together and motivate one another and just and build for the future and say, hey, together let's make sure we do this and let's take these steps to do it. And it just got better and better as we went along.
Coach, you guys have done a lot of work to get ready for this game and ready for the season. Tell us about your football team. Tell us what do you like about your football team and what maybe you guys have to get better at.
Yeah, I'd love to have more depth. I mean, depth's a real issue for us. I'm real happy with our offensive and defensive line. Mm-hmm. That was a big question mark coming into the season, and they really worked hard to try to improve and get better. We've got a couple of injuries that are hurting us. Christian Alcacer is one of our tailbacks. He's got a broken foot, and we would love to have him. We don't have that many weapons to have somebody sitting on a sideline that's able to help us, but we do have a lot of skill, more skilled than probably ever. Yeah. Their tenacity, their attention to detail, their ability just to go out and play for one another is really been encouraging, and their camaraderie, their brotherhood. They're just solid as all, and that's been big for us because they play for one another, and I mean you got to have that to be successful. As a fullback, if I'm ISO, and I don't care if I'm trying to knock that linebacker down, make sure my tailback gets vertical, and they don't have that jealousy, and I love that about them.
How much you get out of that game out of state? Just to get it, I know it's kind of a unique situation playing the Canadian team, but what were you able to get out of that?
Just work, work, seeing somebody else across from you, and the communication process that it takes all over, the secondary, talking to one another, just being able to go out and get some good work against somebody else besides, in practice. There's nothing like game speed, and you're always trying to get them ready for game speed all the time. So that was good, and then the going and traveling. You don't get to do that much in South Florida. If you travel, I go to Terravella 10 minutes down the road. I go to Coral Springs 5 minutes down the road. So for these guys, to get to go out of state and ride a Greyhound,
great experience.
Stay in a hotel, have a team meal, have a team meeting. Just to go through what the next level's like is huge for those guys. And I just wish that every South Florida team had the opportunity. Yeah. I came here 6 years ago from a small town in West Virginia, and we traveled 2 hours, 3 hours pretty much every week to go play somebody, and so we rode Greyhounds and stuff, but these guys in South Florida, they don't get that opportunity. So anytime you can give those kids the opportunity, they eat that up. They love that. That's really enjoyable time.
Nothing
and
like
memories,
camaraderie, being together will be the things they remember.
Yeah, you're in the hotel, you're in a team meeting, everybody's focused, and it just builds.
No, you got some kids pulling some pranks too. I mean, you can't go on the road.
I'm sure we did. I didn't hear nothing terrible.
It wasn't bad if it was, Bo.
I'm just, I didn't hear nothing bad, so I was.
And what the coach doesn't hear doesn't go on.
They had the chance to meet Hines Ward, and that was an opportunity of a lifetime. To sit there and put two Super Bowl rings up and take pictures with him, and that was really a great time. And the Milton High School people and the Freedom Bowl people, Dave Menard and them were just awesome. I just hope. Be honest with you, I just hope we can move on past that and worry about, I hope we're focused tonight. And make sure we take care of stuff tonight.
Coach, we're going to let you go. Before, just one thing. Aaron Feisha, Coach, Chris Hickson, the athletic director, certainly going to weigh heavy on everybody's mind in this. And I've been watching kids walk by, and there's a poster of them here, and they walk by and they tap the poster of Aaron Feisha when they walk by. And so it really brings things home. And certainly wish the best for you guys, best for the school, best for the community, and have a big night tonight, and have your kids enjoy. enjoy playing football.
I can't say enough about, I miss Aaron Feist every day. I miss Chris Hickson every day. Guys like that are just, they're lifelong friends, and to not have them here with us is just terrible, but we'll rub his belly and try to go out here and make him proud.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks
for being with us.
Thank you.
Coach, wish you the best of luck. Thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Willis May Jr. got a big job in his hand. Big job getting his football team ready to play. As you said, when it played.
He was brutally honest, hey, man, it's been a slow process.
It's a different thing.
So important to this school.
All right, from South Broward, now head coach Coach Franklin is going to join us.
Come on over, Coach.
Keith.
How you doing, man?
How you doing, Coach?
You?
Right.
Nice to see you, man.
Good to see you guys.
Good.
Nice to see you too.
All righty.
How about you guys? 5-5 last year. What kind of football team you got here?
We got a young. We're very young right now. A little inexperienced, but I'm excited about this football team. We got some good guys that's ready to just show some bulldog football right now.
Coach, you know the new saying here in South Florida, keep them home.
Yeah, keep them home. Keep them home. Absolutely.
Don't let them go.
Yeah.
Don't let them leave home, man. I know you've been hit with it. Everybody else we talked to, it happens. How much has that changed the whole process for a coach?
Well, actually, you know what? I stay with my same formula. We tell the kids, look, if you want to be a part of the program, stick around. It's something that over time, get better. If you don't feel like it's a place for you to be, then maybe you can find you another home, because I can't change kids' minds.
That's right.
I've been successful with it before, and my coaches and the players are bought in. We lost about 14 kids, but I have 54 out right now. So, and they're young right now, but
they won't play. They won't be on that team.
Exactly.
I'll take those guys every day.
Every day.
Questioning whether they should be with you or not, I'm with you, man.
Absolutely.
Coach, do those new rules that put you guys in a position where you got to do a little bit of it yourself? You got to kind of look outside of your perimeter and see if there's some other guys that may want to come and be part of your football team?
Well, actually, what we do,
to me, it's a shame that you have to be in that position.
Yeah, we actually look at our areas, the feeder schools that we look at, the programs that are around, and kids come from the outside. But we got a great magnet program, so we got a great academic source there. So if kids want to be a part of a great academic and athletic program, South Broward's a great place to be.
Coach, how about being part of this tonight? And the media's here, obviously, from all over for a reason. First game back for Stoneman Douglas, being part of that. Just talk about that.
I mean, it's a very sad occasion. Chris Hickson, he was a Bulldog, before he came over here.
That's right.
We still support his wife and his son Corey. Matter of fact, we was out there practicing the other day, and Mom and Corey were running around the track like they always do. At times I get caught up, because I used to see Chris over at the pool, or because even though he was still working here, he was still coming back around South Broward. So in a special way, it's just a great way to start the season off over here. Coach Mays, these guys around here at Stoneman, man, our hearts go out to them, and we support them from afar. We're one big family, because it could have happened at South Broward. You never know at this day and time,
Coach, you guys work hard to win football games. What do you need to do to come away with a win against this Stoneman Douglas team?
Well, actually, Coach Mays does great jobs with those guys. He got a good young team. We got to play all three phases of the game. You got to be strong on offense, strong on defense, and be very leery and weary on our special teams. Yeah. Coach calls some tricks sometimes, so we're well prepared right now.
You're gonna throw a little stuff out. I mean, you got a lot more people here tonight. You're gonna maybe throw out a few things, a couple of trick plays here of your own tonight.
Yeah, we might have something.
We might have a little something. Yeah, we might have a little something going. Good.
Yes.
Coach, you're a West Virginia guy going into the West Virginia State Hall of Fame. How about that?
It's an honor. About 32 years ago or something like that.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. You didn't mention the year.
Exactly. But it's great going back home and receiving that honor. I played with some great guys, and I just think for all the support. But hey, it started right here in South Florida.
Yeah.
That kind of got me up there. Everything worked out pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, I wish you the best of luck, man. Have a good game out there. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, thank you very much.
Have a good season.
All right.
Great to have you with us, man.
Okay, thanks.
Take care. Coach Keith Franklin, two guys ready to get their teams together. And Joe, that's got to be the tough thing for both schools, is to kind of forget everything that's going on, forget everything around it, which is a difficult thing to do, because mostly in that locker room for Stoneman Douglas before they come out, there's going to be some big emotion in there. And getting yourself back to the level where you got to go out and play a football game.
Well, everybody's reminded. I mean, the media from all over South Florida here tonight for this one. You'll see it all over the news tonight, and it's because of this. And these teams are obviously going to be the focus of high school football in South Florida tonight. So, anyway, crazy stuff.
Hey, so let's kind of touch base. I think we got Xavier's going to hopefully stop by here in a little bit if he gets here on time. let's got to get back to the Dolphins in this game on Sunday. Talk about a quick start. Joe, this team, 3-4 years, it seems like the vast majority of games we're playing from behind. We're down 13-0. We're down 10-0. We're down 14-0. And you're constantly climbing that hill. Same with the win-loss record from a season. While a couple years ago we're 1-4. And put on a 6-game winning streak, which if you're going to depend on that every year, that's
a lot of comebacks.
That's tough going.
A lot of comebacks to get in the playoffs that year.
A lot of comebacks,
Yeah.
but Joe, this team's got to find a way to kind of turn that tide and get started quickly. Try to put pressure on them. Try to force their defense to figure out what you're doing. And Joe, I really believe with this football team this year, I believe they've kept most of this offense under wrap in a big way during training camp.
I
think
totally
what
agree.
we're going to see Sunday is going to be diametrically opposed to what we saw during those 4 preseason games.
Starting with Mike Gesicki and
Yep.
the way he gets used. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a guy look so good.
No.
For people to go to practice, go, my gosh, and then the coach goes, I don't think I'm going to show him a lot in the preseason and how I want to use him. And I'm going, ooh, okay, but we're gonna let it rip when the regular season and all the ways we're gonna use them that we've used them in practice, we'll use them in the game. You make a great point though. The thing that hurt the team, and everybody knows about the individual numbers that were bad, the third down problems and everything else. The long droughts of not scoring by getting off to bad starts and then trying to play catch up in the fourth, and everything has to be perfect. That's got to stop, man. Get off the fast starts and come out with your best stuff.
Joe, I watched the game last night. And I hope it was an aberration, not what we can expect as a norm for this first couple weeks of the season. Joe, that was an ugly game, a lot of penalties. And look, there are going to be a lot of penalties in every game, Joe, because they're trying. There's new rules. There's the helmet rule. There's the quarterback driving in the ground rule. There's pass interference, which is changed.
Right.
So there's a lot of rules that the league is instituting into the game. And I think every one of them kind of showed up in that game last night. I think a little out of control.
The thing you left out, one of the problems is nobody plays preseason football.
Right, yep.
Julio Jones did not play one snap in preseason football. They threw it to him 19 times last night, and he wasn't in on half the red zone plays last night. They said he was wiped out.
Well, look at how many look at how many guys, Joe, last night went down with cramps and all those types of things.
Nobody plays
the first
in
game because they're not,
preseason,
they talk
They're
about
healthy.
They talk about making training camp, more. So it's you're not injured. Guys aren't getting as in, but then you come out and then you get that. Then you get guys that aren't ready to play. I don't know how you can play. If you're a veteran on this team, you probably played 6 plays in the first game, maybe 15 plays in the second game, may got 20 plays in the third game, and that's it.
Yeah. Some guys played. There were starters, both that might have played a quarter or 2 quarters of football all preseason.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you show them to play 70 plays.
Joe, you talked about kind of keeping Gesicki under the wraps and springing him out here as the season starts. I think you could probably say the same for Danny Amendola, Albert Wilson, Jakeem Grant,
for sure.
some of those guys, because you know how Coach Gay's in his mind. He's got, for all those guys, I'm sure he's got a couple different spots where he wants to get them in those mismatches to try to take advantage, and didn't do it during the season. Didn't do it during the preseason.
Flexing Gesicki out. Now, he played his young linebackers because, Bo, they need experience.
Yes,
they need to see play action.
Thing,
They need to see cutbacks. They need to see all that stuff, what holes. Don't get sucked in on a read option when your job is not to come over and make the tackle, to stay wide and contain it. They needed to see that, and they got to see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. And those guys, look, they're going to continue. Look, this is going to be a young football team, Joe. They're going to continue to, especially those 2 linebackers, because my biggest concern for them is not can they play and can they be really good. It's just when are they going to get to understand, like you said, you can't get ahead of the ball because there's a cutback behind you. And if your job is to be that cutback guy, you can't overrun where you got. And we've seen some of that. And to me, that's adrenaline. That's being excited. That's wanting to make the play.
250-pound running back. I got to hit him.
They got to figure out and Joe, that just comes with reps, and it just comes with time.
Totally agree.
And as much time as they got during the preseason, which quite frankly, still, even though they got a lot,
they need a lot
not that
more.
much.
Yeah.
They need. So this is going to be
somebody else's game
this is going to be a continuing process for those 2 guys. But I'm excited about their athletic ability, and you know what I'm excited about is the way they believe in themselves and the type of football players they can be.
Well, I don't think they were handed the job. I think they're the best guys.
Yeah.
Now, the other guys may know more about the game right now, but as far as making plays in preseason, the right guys are playing. It wasn't by accident that we're going to talk about all these guys playing. We saw in practice, those guys need to be playing, and coaches didn't hesitate to put them in and name them starters basically after the first or even before the first preseason game.
Joe, secondary, Bobby McCain and Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Right.
Those two guys over there. The assumption is, and I don't know that Tennessee has a receiver they're going to put Xavier Howard on and have him go. I think they're going to play sides in this game. So those guys are always going to be on that, for the most part, going to be on that left side. They're certainly going to test those guys. I think Marcus Mariota is going to test them both from a stand of throwing the football and attacking the line of scrimmage and forcing them to make decisions both from the linebackers and the secondary.
Well, I think we're going to see what we saw with Baltimore a few weeks ago, that read option with Mariota. And not only is he going to fake it, and they'll pound you up the middle with the big running back, then he'll get outside. Bo, he also throws those quick passes off that thing. You come up and attack him, he'll throw it to open receivers. So, I mean, a little bit of that Auburn. Auburn used to run that and have success. So, they do some real good things. Got a real athletic, one of the more athletic quarterbacks. You got to stay home. Well, this is not a week to try to make a tackle, cutting underneath. You better stay with whatever you're told to do.
You know what? This is, for this game, you got to, I go back to the school I came from and with Bill Arnsparger, and it was it. Look, I know you might be able to make that play if you kind of throw that arm over and get back there, but I want you to stay there in case something comes back to you. And it's coming out of college, hard to discipline yourself and be that kind of guy, but at some point you got to, if you want it, you find out that that's how you have success. And I think that's the same especially for these linebackers. It's funny because Kiko's been here for 3 years. And every year Kiko's been in a different position.
Right.
Last year, he had some different guys in there to work with. Year before, he was kind of out of position.
Right.
Now he's got two young guys next to him. He's going to wonder, when can I just have a year where I can just go out there and play my spot and not have to worry about those other guys doing their job and getting lined up in the right place.
He is coaching all those young guys because he knows how important they are. Bo, the run defense is going to be a big one as we're hoping that they're ready to go, Bo, because they got to stop the run before you get into the pass.
Joe, this football, the good thing is this football, they accomplished what they want to do in the preseason. They're coming into this game healthy. The only scratch is probably going to be Devontae Parker, not going to play in this game when I'm talking about the starters. But other than that, they're ready to go. Pretty healthy group. People have been dinged in a little bit. You had a couple guys in the concussion protocol. Balaj was in the protocol. Jakeem was in the protocol. A couple of those guys, but they're out and ready to go.
That's right.
By the way, that's another guy that I'm interested to see is Kalen Balaj. See if he gets some carries. He certainly showed it in that last game in Atlanta that he's got to be reckoned with.
Yeah. I don't know, though. Can you imagine Balaj playing in Frank Gore? I just see this thing like Frank Gore. Don't look at my age. I want to play, right? Frank's going to want to get –
No. Drake's going to get his carries. Frank's going to get his carries. But I guarantee you there's going to be a smattering. There's going to be a smattering of Kalen Balaj in there just to see what he can do.
Wow. I'm curious to see Ryan Tannehill, Bo, we haven't talked about, and it starts with number 17.
No doubt.
The game's still about the quarterback. We can talk about everything else in pass protection. He's going to have to make some plays. He's got to make some throws.
Yeah. So it's a different Ryan Tannehill than we've seen.
It is.
I think the injury, I think the time away, I think understanding how much he missed, from a year and a half of playing, and he just seems to be very happy to be back where he's at. He's a little more open. He's a little more lighter. He's not that is serious always as he's been in the past.
Yeah.
And so I think he's anxious to get back playing, and I think he likes. I did a deal with him the other day. I think he likes when he looks around this huddle, he likes what he sees in there, and more importantly, trusts what he sees in there.
Bo, let's think about this for a second. They didn't draft a quarterback in the first round, and everybody thought there are a lot of people said Dolphins going to take one of these guys,
no doubt.
And somebody went in and said, Ryan, this is your team. Go get him. I think there's some urgency.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, he missed 20 games. He's got a great appreciation what it was like when he was out, how much he enjoyed it. So he's taking advantage of it. I hope he's aggressive. I know he puts in the work. We got to see the throws. We got to see the leadership now.
Adam Gase, he's told me a couple times during this this offseason during training camp, I finally got the guys I want. I finally got the players I want, the style of players I want, the type of players I want.
That's right.
And I've got the coaching staff that I want. So he's kind of put all his cards on the table. These are my guys, the kind of guys I want. I got the guys I wanted. Got rid of some guys that not that he didn't want them, but that they just felt like they needed to move on. And then he's got his coaching staff that he rearranged a little bit and got what he's want. So kind of puts a little pressure on his shoulders coming out and making those statements.
Yeah. Hey, Bo, my question, he definitely got the chemistry and all that stuff, which he felt lacked a year ago. Everybody knows that story. But, Bo, this thing now is, all right, sounds great. Are they good enough to win with?
Yep.
You got playmakers. Somebody got to make plays. Somebody got to jump up, make a catch in the back of the end zone. Who's going to make a big catch on third down? Who's going to break a tackle? You got to get interceptions, force fumbles. We got to see if they can get back to – we got some of those guys.
Joe, this team doesn't have any star power on it. I'm talking about nationally known name star power on it. Yeah. They don't have those guys. And so my deal with this team all along is that, Joe, if you don't have those guys, this team's got to be overachieving. They got to be an overachieving team.
Totally
guys have to play above their heads.
And
what I do like is this. You go out and you get a Danny Amendola, who's always played over his head. You get a Robert Quinn, an over-your-head guy. You get Sitton, Kilgore, those guys that kind of play over their head. So you've got some of those guys out there that do that play. And you kind of hope that the other guys around it feed off that and understand that, hey, if they're doing it, I got to get to that point. To me, that's what this team has got to be. They've got to be disciplined. They've got to eliminate as many mistakes as possible. Even with the rules, they've got to somehow circumvent those penalties and not have too many penalties, and then they've got to play above their heads to be successful. And every part, they've got to play as a team, Joe. It can't be a team of 11 individuals on the field at a time.
No, not good enough for that. You got to clean it up, Bo. Everybody knows the numbers. It's a fresh start. Adam Gase is aware of everything we're talking about. He's preached it to these guys, and it's showtime. 1 o'clock, man. At home. The heat is for you, man. Yep. The heat's a 12th man for me. That's, you know how it was, Orange Bowl.
Oh, yeah,
we couldn't play 1 o'clock games enough for Coach Shula.
No.
Anything that was hot, let's do it.
Let's do it. Get guys throwing up on the field and that whole thing out there.
Shortening their workout before the game.
Look, you're watching those guys. They were playing indoors last night. They were playing indoors in there, and those guys were falling out. No, where were they? Yeah, they were indoors. They were in Atlanta, right?
That's right.
So
no, they're in Philadelphia.
They're in Philly. They're in Philly. They're outside. So, but it's going to be a test to see what how Tennessee holds up with all that. Let's get back. The band's coming out here, and so this football game's going to start at 7 o'clock, Joe. It's going to be a lot of fun out here. The atmosphere is going to be great. Got all kind of guys, all the media from all over. I think they got some national media. Harvey Green's here. If Harvey's here,
if Harvey's here, his wife didn't want him home.
If Harvey's here, they must be giving away something free.
Like we got to get Harvey another job or something. I mean, Harvey.
Yeah, he needs to look for something.
Yeah, we got to get Harvey going a little bit.
That's right.
Hey, Joe, you're right though, man. This is the atmosphere. Yeah. You don't like it under these circumstances.
Then you don't like it.
But it's a great atmosphere for a football game and a start of healing for a lot of folks.
Look at their stands are filling up pretty good over there. There's a lot of parents, a lot of people in the parking lot still kind of going through that whole thing. And it's funny, the emotions in this area right now. A lot of different emotions everywhere. But meanwhile, there's a football team over there, and the coach is saying, "Hey, look, it's a big night for us. It's a big night for our community, but we got to get down to the business of playing football."
They're going to be zoned in on football. It's all, as soon as you start that game and you kick it off, it's all football. You better not be thinking about anything.
I would imagine, Joe, that these guys are. It's going to be. They're going to be like bat out of hell. The bat out of hell running down the field when this thing's kicked off.
Home first game. This is had a little warm up game out of state, and now to come back and be back home for this and. Looks like they're going to get a good night of football. We've been real lucky on these Friday nights, Bo. We've hit some pretty good weather.
The last games we've had, Joe, we get the coaches, and now with the rule changes, we've talked about it a number of times with just about everybody. We talked about it here with the coaches. Players coming and going, freewheeling and transferring and this and that.
South Broward
I don't like it. I don't like it, Joe. We talked a couple weeks ago, and I said, look, to me, high school football was a neighborhood game. All the kids that you grew up with, all the kids you went to elementary school, junior high, those are your guys. We're going to battle with them. And now it's just a free-for-all. go where you go. And if you're a South Broward, if you're a Piper, if you're some of these other schools, you're just going to have to deal with what you got and try to get the best out of best you can out of the guys that want to be part, as you said with him, want to be part of this football team.
Yeah, but what do you do? Like, you want to keep your best players, but we've found now every game we've had, a guy goes, I lost some pretty good players, but they can't worry about it. You got to get sophomores. I think we're going to see a lot more sophomores playing varsity football than ever
Which
before.
Is fine.
Because, Bo, if they're good enough and their upside is going to be major as they physically develop, it's great. And you hope they have enough success and they enjoy staying where they are and they don't move on.
If you're a school like one of these two and you're not attracting those superstar players, then getting guys starting as sophomores, so by the time they're seniors, they played for 3 years and they've got. But the only problem with that is it's going to take 2 or 3 years for those guys to get that experience and to get that program to where they want to be, which has got to be frustrating for a lot of schools down here in South Florida.
But hey, Bo, they made it legal here a couple years ago, so we had it going on anyway, and people were finding ways around the system.
A little more clandestine
now
back
it's just
then.
like I'm gone, and I can tell everybody I'm leaving. It's not a big deal. So crazy.
Yeah, nice atmosphere out here though. It's this is going to be a fun night, and we'll stick around and watch a little bit of this and see how these guys come out.
A great night too, man.
It's
great
beautiful.
Night
We've been
for high school football. By the way, at Trask Powell tonight, Columbus upset Northwestern last week. Tonight they step up. Carroll City High. Carroll City High, Columbus at Trask Powell. Carroll City might be the best team. I hate saying that because I saw Central last week against Booker T. Central's going to play St. Thomas. We got some ridiculous
that's a couple weeks for St. Thomas and Central.
We'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be there for that.
We'll be there. We'll get on Jason and make sure we're dancing at St. Thomas there. Yeah, we'll be there.
You know, it just Joe, we've been doing this now for a couple of years, and as you go around looking, and you really get a good feel for it, just how many good athletes, good coaches, and I'm always impressed. I've yet to be disappointed in a coach that we've had come down and sit down with us, because they're all about education, getting these kids doing the right thing, getting them going in the right direction,
mentors,
taking care of them, doing all that, and sometimes your high school football and football in general and sports in general gets who needs it, it's a waste of time. But then you talk to these coaches and see how much support they have for their kids and what they give to these kids, and it certainly comes off as a different viewpoint from their eyes.
Mo, it is hard. As you know, talk radio can be brutal. I want to let you know that high school football coaches don't make a lot of money. They teach, and they spend a lot of hours with these kids, Bo, making sure everything's okay at home. Guy misses practice, what's going on, struggling in school. The other teachers complain to you. He's got to work. Guys don't have food to eat. I mean, these guys are special that coach high school football. No criticism from anybody.
I tell you, you mentioned one thing that I'd certainly like to see change. I'd like to see these guys get their due. Got some of these guys in some of these schools, Joe, that they're coaching or they're doing stuff at school and they're getting $3,500 a year to be a high school football coach and put all that time and mentor kids and do all the things that they do. And I don't think that's – you go to Texas, you go to Alabama, you go to Georgia, those guys are making six figures out there.
They got to love –
it's a whole different ball game.
You got to love high school football as a coach to do it, put in a system. Worry about guys getting, like you said, getting to practice, not what's going on at home, all the things teenage kids go through. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on for sure, Bo. So they are special.
Hey, I want to thank Nike for bringing us the Audible High School Football Friday. We're live, I said, from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in South Florida. Excited to be a part of the high school football season with Nike. And, Joe, this crowd, I like their band, too. The band looked good They look good marching in the parade.
They did.
And then they look great coming in here. This is what high school football is all about. An evening like this right here is what it's all about.
Right. And by the way, both teams think they got a shot to win.
Yeah, no doubt.
They're not like, hey, we got a chance. And no, we got a chance. It's great. It'll be great school spirit here tonight. And, Bo, we got a great night for it. I'm so glad we're doing these Friday night high school football games, getting a chance to talk about high school at places like Douglas.
And, Joe, they got some burgers and some dogs over there cooking that smell pretty good, man.
I've been trying to stay away from burgers, cheeseburgers.
Yeah,
They might have me
I gave up. I don't even try. I don't even try to stay away.
Try anymore?
I had two today.
I'm trying to have one a week, man. As I get older, I'm trying to that one a week.
No, but I don't do like
bad.
double burgers. I just go and get like a single burger and do that. I try to
4 bite it. Just 4 quick bites and it's done.
Depends on where I go. Sometimes it's a 2 bite. If it's in the car, it's a 2 biter. And let me get down the road and get out of here.
Bo.
Speaking of getting down the road and getting out of here, Joe, we're gonna wrap it up. South Broward, Stoneman Douglas. This game gets underway in
7
about
o'clock start.
15 minutes, and it'll be exciting. And then the Dolphins on Sunday,
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock at Hard Rock Stadium. Going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of excitement in that building, Joe.
Like everybody, Bo, try and figure out what it's going to look like.
Yep.
That's what makes it fun, man.
Yep.
You don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Hopefully Dolphins get off to a great start, and Ryan Tannehill really gets it going early in the game.
I want to thank the 2 coaches for stopping by. I want to thank you for being out here,
Bo,
Joe.
this is great,
and
man.
And I want to thank our sponsors, Nike, for helping us promote here high school football in South Florida. That's going to do it for this week. We'll see you again next week from not sure where, Joe, but we'll be there.
We'll be there, whatever it is.
Later.